One of the big questions right now is the US dollar declining and what can we do about it if it is?
Sure, yeah, thanks. So the dollar has really been rallying more or less since the end of the great financial crisis in 08, 09. And the dollar index that Rick had shown earlier peaked in 2022, but we've been going broadly sideways. And I think that what's happened is the dollar is breaking down. It's not just because of the tariffs, though that's capturing our imaginations. But there's been a real reversal of U.S. positions on many different foreign economic policies lately. I think about the WTO, U.S. is going to be paying the dues. I'm worried about next week at the IMF World Bank meetings where the U.S. may very well announce cuts in some funding of different programs. And so I think that the dollar's decline long overdue. And the way we think about it being overdue is that the dollar is very expensive on a purchasing power parity terms. It's like watching two fighters, and they say the smaller fighter is stronger than the larger fighter, pound for pound. That's a similar measure we use in the foreign exchange market. Instead of pound for pound, purchasing power parity. And by that measure, the euro and the yen are still almost 50% undervalued. So I think what's happening now, sparked by the change in administration, is the rubber band is snapping back.
This is not financial advice, but if the dollar is declining, here are a few things you can do. One, you can buy into precious metals like gold and silver. You can see the gold price going up by 24% in the last 6 months here in 2025. Year to date, up 21.43%. While a lot of stocks have been going down, although they've had a recent rally, people have been scared due to tariffs, but gold has been doing the complete opposite of the market. You also could invest in foreign exchanges, also known as forex trading or currency ETFs. For instance, the expert mentioned euros. Euros have been up 8.11% year to date, while the dollar has not been quite as strong lately. A third method you could use to protect yourself is to invest in international stocks and ETFs that are more diverse in where they are operating and aren't as reliant on production in the US. For instance, you could look into a company like Nestle, which is up almost 25% this year. They also pay out a 3.33% dividend yield. They also own many different types of companies and are very diversified. A fourth way that you could protect yourself if the US dollar keeps declining is through real assets. This could include real estate, farmland, etc. It can be inconvenient and expensive to invest in those types of things in real homes as well as land. But what you can do is REITs, where you can do real estate investment trust if you want to buy into real estate while investing like buying a stock. For instance, you could look into Camden Property Trust, which is up 11.44% in the past year and has a dividend yield of 3.53%. Many property trusts like these actually have very high dividend yields. They may not grow a lot year over year, but a lot of times they have a consistent price and a really solid dividend. You can also invest in Treasury inflation protected securities, otherwise known as TIPS. These adjust their value with inflation, protecting your purchasing power, and are actually backed by the US government, which lowers risk. As you can see in a document directly from treasurydirect.gov, you can actually invest directly through the Treasury or through a financial institution or broker. So you could go to treasurydirect.gov and you could buy into TIPS by creating a Treasury Direct account. A sixth way that you could protect yourself against a decline in the US dollar is by buying into cryptocurrencies. Obviously, this is higher risk, but also higher reward. You have to be very careful which cryptocurrencies you invest in because many of them are meme coins and pump and dumps. Many people see Bitcoin especially as a digital hedge against inflation and fiat currency decline, and crypto does not depend on the US dollar or any sort of central bank. You just have to be careful and do your own research. Bitcoin, considered the gold standard of crypto, is actually up 15% in the past 6 months, 9% year to date, and 985.8% over the past 5 years. So none of this is financial advice. These are just some ways that you could protect yourself if the US dollar is in fact declining.